CBS Sports came out with a list of teams they believe are most likely to dethrone the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh.
Now, a lot of these are the teams you would expect, but let me lead off with the honorable mentions. They have a top 5.
Can we guess?
This might be disrespectful that they're just an honorable mention. Sure, you can guess.
Can you get one of the 5 honorable mentions?
These are just NFC teams?
Nope.
Just overall.
The entire league.
Overall.
Whole
league.
Honorable mention.
So basically we're doing top 10.
To win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Bengals.
The Bengals were not on this list. Actually, they are. Sorry, they're not an honorable mention. They're number 2.
They're number 2?
They have the Bengals, the number 2 likely team to dethrone.
Wow. That's surprising.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Houston Texans.
They are on that list. I'll give you the honorable mentions.
All right.
So I felt like this was kind of disrespectful because I would put them in the top 5. Valdez, your Ravens don't even make the top 5 most likely to win a Super Bowl.
They have the Bengals at a better opportunity or better shot to win the Super Bowl than the Ravens?
Yes, sir.
According to CBS Sports. I'm going to bet that Valdez kind of likes the disrespect heading into the season.
Do you think it's disrespect?
He's okay with it.
Or do you think it's fair?
I think
Are they a top 5 team?
I think the Ravens have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl than the Bengals because I don't think the Bengals have done anything really to upgrade their defense, which was a huge problem for them last year. And if they trade away Trey Hendrickson, which I don't know if they're going to do, but if they do, then their defense gets even worse.
The Bengals should worry more about dethroning the Ravens from the AFC North than, than dethroning the
Well, that's
Eagles.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's very surprising.
Considering Joe Burrow 6-1 against Lamar,
right?
Or Lamar 6-1 against Joe Burrow,
right?
1-6.
Who put this out?
CBS Sports.
CBS Sports. Okay.
So your number 5 team, and it makes sense because they were in the AFC Championship game, is the Buffalo Bills.
Oh. All right.
I mean, they're certainly in the mix.
They added Joey Bosa. That could upgrade their pass rush if he's healthy.
Right.
They added Joshua Palmer as a receiver. He's not some super stud, but he's speedy. At number 4, I mean,
Chiefs.
They've got the Detroit Lions.
All right.
Now, the Commanders smashed the Lions in the playoffs, but they had a lot of injuries, especially on defense. They do lose both their coordinators. Right. How big of a deal do you think that is? I mean, I guess we're going to find out. Ben Johnson, EB's favorite coordinator.
I think it's got to be a factor. I think anytime teams lose
coordinators, it will
coordinators,
be a factor, but I don't think it's going to be a huge factor.
They hired both guys from within, right?
Did they promote both from within? I'd have to double check.
I'm not sure about
those
that.
hires.
I thought they hired from within.
I think a bigger deal is Aiden Hutchinson coming back.
Yeah,
from missing last year. I think that makes a bigger impact.
They went out and got
coordinators.
They got DJ Reed at corner from the Jets, so they improved there. But all right, so I'm fine with that.
Number 3 teams to most likely dethrone the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. They got the Rams.
Oh,
they've got the Rams. Number 3. Rams added Devontae Adams, lost Cooper Kupp, added Devontae Adams. I think based on where Cooper Kupp is now, that's an upgrade to add Devontae Adams.
They also have one of the best running backs in the league. His name's Kyron Williams.
That is correct. John Morton is the new OC in Detroit.
Not Johnny Morton.
Not Johnny Morton. A different John Morton. He was with the Lions in 2022. Then he spent the last 2 years in Denver. Now he's back.
Kind of with
It's kind of a familiar face.
Yeah. So they like the Rams. I mean, if you look at the Eagles' run in the playoffs, their closest game was against the Rams.
So far, it's the Bills, it's the it's the Lions, it's the Rams.
And you already mentioned the number 2 team, the Bengals.
And the Bengals. That's surprising to me. And the Chiefs are not on this list so far? All right, so the number 1's the Chiefs?
The number 1 team, they believe.
It's not the Chiefs.
Interestingly, the Chiefs aren't even an honorable mention.
I wonder if it's a local team.
They don't have the Chiefs in the top 10.
That's weird.
They were in the Super Bowl last year.
Really weird.
Wow.
The Washington Commanders.
Wow. The Washington Commanders.
That's kind of amazing.
Let's go. I love this.
They have the Commanders basically as the second best team in the NFL.
They love the Laramie Tunsil deal. They love the Deebo Samuel deal.
Mm-hmm.
I love that too. I love Debo.
And you have to think that Jaden is going to get even better in year 2 than he was in year 1. And year 1 was spectacular.
What are your current odds for the Commanders to win the Super Bowl? I think when you went through this a few weeks ago, I feel like they were like the 6th or 7th most favored team.
By the way, they do have the Chiefs in the honorable mention.
Oh, I guess I missed it. Sorry.
Yeah. They've got Tampa, Minnesota, KC, Houston, Green Bay, and Baltimore.
Well, they got a bunch of teams in the honorable mention, actually.
Yeah.
More than I thought.
How are you feeling about
1,600 to win the Super Bowl?
Who's the biggest favorite? Obviously the Eagles, but after them.
I don't have the list. I just have what the Commanders are listed.
Oh, I have ESPN's futures. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Because I have the Chiefs and the Eagles at plus 600. Then they have the Ravens right behind them at plus 650.
Yeah.
Then the Bills plus 700. Then the Lions plus 850. Then the Niners plus they have the Niners ahead of the Commanders. And then the Bengals and the Commanders both at plus 1,600.
Yeah, so that was what I was referencing, that they were right around 7th. So that's tied for 7th.
I still take umbrage with I know it means nothing. It's preseason. With the Niners being a bigger favorite with all of their defections and personnel losses.
They did a lot.
I find that shocking that they're
kind
better
of
odds to win than
kind
the
of
Commanders.
overhauling the roster a little bit. Yeah.
Well, so the latest in Cincinnati is that they're trying to work a deal out with Hendrickson. So let's just assume he comes back. They basically do seem like they're running it back because they haven't had, I'll double check, but their splash moves have been
their own guys
signing their own guys back.
Mm-hmm. But they're kind of critical. They're still in the prime of their careers easily. Right?
Now they got off to an awful start. They started the season 1-4.
Yeah.
So I mean, they dug a huge hole and still had a shot to get into the playoffs.
What did they finish? Did they finish 9-8 or did they get to 10? Did they get to 10 wins?
I think it was 9.
9?
Double check.
So they're not going to have the world's toughest schedule in terms of those extra games that they throw in there. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of high that they have the skins that high. I love what they've done so far. Really happy with it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still just kind of scared.
I'm just kind of surprised they have a team behind Washington to dethrone the Eagles when they didn't even make the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think about the Washington, about the Skins being number 1?
I mean, they were NFC Championship and they improved their roster. I mean, are they the top team? I don't know. I mean, it kind of depends on staying healthy. What are they going to do in the draft? What do they do at running back?
I think it helps that they play them twice.
Yep, certainly does.
None of the other teams on that list would play them twice. So.
Well, that would help to dethrone them?
Yeah, because you can get home field over them and then make it harder for the Eagles to repeat as Super Bowl champions.
Uh-huh.
I think that the biggest task for them, specifically against the Eagles, is did they do enough defensively by adding these guys
Not yet.
to stop Saquon Barkley?
Not yet. They haven't. I don't think.
You just have to hope Barkley doesn't have another 2,000
Well, do you
yard
think,
season.
here's the overall question. We kind of been talking. Have they closed the gap? I think that they have, just by the losses that Philly has suffered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
I would
So
agree
I think
with that.
they have closed the gap. It's just to how much, I don't know. And of course, we're not done. Neither team's done with the draft coming up.
But like you said, when you look at the NFL futures to win the Super Bowl,
they're still like 7 or 8
most of these books, they're 7, 8, 9. They're not 2.
I don't think it's a terrible wager. Plus 1,600. You should put a Hunsky on him.
Sounds like something Drab should look into. This is the perfect
He
draft.
doesn't want to bet on the
maybe
Commanders.
Maybe not quite the long shot he's used to.
He'd rather bet on the Raiders with Pete Carroll.
Yeah, but he knows he's just lighting money on fire.
Is not nearly long
right,
enough.
you like
you
super
want
long
longer?
odds. Yeah.
No, I just put $20 on Arkansas to win the national championship.
And what are their odds?
I don't know. $20 will pay me 2,600.
That's
so I
pretty
think it's
good.
130 to 1.
What are Pete Carroll's and Geno Smith's odds
to win the Super Bowl?
Plus 10,000.
$1 trillion to 1.
Plus
That's where he should
10,000.
put his money.
Probably.
You don't want to put $10 on Geno?
Oh, I will before the season starts.
But that would only get you 1,000. If you put 10, put 100, you get you 10,000.
I'll probably put $10 on it.
Put $10 on that.
That can't be right.
That's what I see. That's it. That's on the ESPN bet, the old
Yeah.
Barstool app.
800-636-1067.
I don't know what it is on FanDuel. I should know what it is on FanDuel. I just happened to be on ESPN.
With the Raiders?
Or any of them, really.
If you want to chime in, do you think the Commanders have closed the gap and are worthy of being crowned number one, most likely to knock off the Philadelphia Eagles, which includes AFC teams?
I mean, they're definitely worthy. The thing that I can't get over in my head is all those last-second games that all went in our favor. Like, I just don't think we're going to run a table
Cardiac
like that.
Commanders?
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to happen. We're not going to be quite as lucky in end-of-game situations.
Now, one of them was a 2-point conversion that they stopped, right, against the Saints.
Yeah.
Then they had the Eagles game where Devontae Smith dropped it, but to their credit, they then drove the ball down and scored.
Well, and Hurts was out.
Can't remember the circumstance, but you remember Neighbors dropped the ball on the sideline.
That was early in the season.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
Yeah.
That was their first win.
Mm-hmm. They got some breaks.
Then you had the playoff game against Tampa where they won on the last drive after Baker botched the snap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, I'll say that Jaden put in those situations made the plays to get them the dub.
I mean,
they didn't just hand the dubs to the Commanders. The Commanders thought to make plays.
They earned those last second wins.
Right.
What is the cliche cakes? Cool as a cucumber? Is that what it is?
Cool as a cucumber.
What did I say?
You said cool as a pepper or something.
No, you said cool as an onion.
Cool as an onion.
This is so old school. EB and I had an appearance where they actually asked us.
It was in Chantilly, Herndon.
We had to
area.
play Sports.
What's the name of that bar?
Jimmy's Old Town Tavern.
Jimmy's Old Town Tavern. Yeah.
I remember we had to play Sports Jeopardy. And they asked us the question and wrote it down.
Cool as an onion.
EB flashed his card. I couldn't believe it.
By the way,
I told you I didn't know. I just guessed.
On FanDuel, you know, it's dead last to win the Super Bowl.
Dead last. Hold on. The Jags?
The team that Flame thinks is making the playoffs.
Oh, the Giants.
I didn't say it. I didn't say that. I bet on 4-1 odds. It's not like I have great faith.
JP's doing a broad. Somebody's going to surprise you.
Yeah,
it
he's
could
doing that
be
bit.
the Giants. That's
Someone will surprise. It won't be the Giants.
That was my take.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said that about the Commanders last year.
I was clearly wrong. All of us were.
Not Cakes.
Cakes is kind of right.
Valdez, too. Valdez is looking incredulous. He was all over the Commanders, too.
Okay, but no one thought they were going NFC Championship.
I didn't think, but I thought double-digit wins. I was kind of grasping.
I had them at 9 with an asterisk. Remember that?
I do remember that. But you didn't have the cojones to really bet the 11.
Yes, you guys thought they were going to the playoffs, but they still surprised everybody.
Right.
Of course.
Yes.
Never forget the asterisk.
Turns out Jaden is a superstar. They drafted a superstar at number 2.
He certainly played like that.
The Hall of Famer.
I mean, he's a potential Hall of Famer.
I mean, he's 1 for 1 in Hall of Fame years.
Yeah.
That's true.
I would guess
it's 1 for 1.
Next year, hopefully, he's 2 for 2.
Yeah. He's on a Hall of Fame track. I mean, but so was Donovan McNabb, and it all fell apart. So, you know.
It all fell apart for him when he got traded here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It happened to a lot of guys.
When Andy Reid wamboozled
during the Snyder era, a lot of the guys they brought in turned out to be, they turned into pumpkins once they got here.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I think that time is done now. We're getting guys on the...
Yeah, there were pros, and then there were duds.
We're getting guys on the come-up now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got real adults in charge.
Your biggest challengers to the Eagles per CBS Sports. You're right. Kansas City. I don't know why I looked at it a couple times. I didn't see Kansas City.
I mean, they got to be in there.
Thank you, Cakes.
No, I don't know, man. I'm looking at the list again, Jason. The guy writes, why no Chiefs? Well, it's pretty simple. Even though Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are perennial locks to make noise in January, their lofty 2024 win total proved misleading on the biggest stage when they were thoroughly and historically embarrassed. So they didn't make the list.
They're right
according
there.
to this. All right, I don't know.
You want to look at the list?
We're reading a different article.
Kansas City Chiefs. Boom, boom, boom.
All right. I mean, I'm not making this up, but
you got to hurt the computer.
But the Bills were 5. The Lions were 4.
Yep.
At number 3 was the Rams, the Bengals 2, and the Washington Commanders by CBS Sports deemed the most likely to dethrone the Philadelphia Eagles. Coming up next, we're going to give you a chance to win that $100 gift card on a game show Wednesday. We're going to play Junkies Trivia. 800-636-1067. We're going to reward our most loyal listeners next here on the Junkies.